Hello! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. In case you do not know me, on this channel I go by B, and I mostly talk about book-related content with a little bit of Marvel and occasionally some other stuff thrown in. So please go check out my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the series of Ironheart, which is the most recent Marvel TV series. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 were released on last Tuesday, which was June something that I cannot remember, so you're just gonna have to go look it up if you care to know the exact date. And episodes 4, 5, and 6 were released on the filming of this video. It was yesterday, July 1st, 2025. So today I binge watched all 6 episodes, like back to back to back. So I am making a review video. So if you're new to this channel, please, and you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss one of my uploads, because while it's mostly book related videos that I post, I do occasionally do Marvel content like this, and I hope to do more. So yeah, and if you are already subscribed and everything, then, thank you. So without further ado, let's get into this. I'm gonna start off by ranking each of the episodes, just on my first, what I thought by the time I'd finished the episode. And of course, it's just the first time I've watched it. I usually rewatch Marvel things, multiple times, so my ratings might change and I might watch this video back and be like, wow, that was really stupid. But as of right now, I'd say my favorite episode was episode 5, and I do not remember the titles of these episodes because they're really long titles, and I wasn't paying much attention to what the titles even were, so I'm just gonna say the numbers. Again, if you care to know specifics, you can go look it up. Episode 5 is my favorite. After that would be episode 6, probably. Then episode 4, then episode 3, episode 1, and then episode 2 is probably my least favorite. Now, all of the episodes were good, I guess. So it's not like, I didn't like any of them. It's just, some were better than others. So episode 1 was, I feel like it was an okay start. So, okay, rewind a bit. I'm gonna preface this by saying that when I heard about this series coming out, I wasn't too excited. I wasn't not excited, because I love Marvel, I'd say as much as the next person, but honestly probably more than the next person, because it hasn't been very popular in recent years. But I don't like to judge things. I like to just try to find something good in everything I watch or read. And so I'm not gonna sit there and criticize the filming and the editing and the acting and the plot line and everything. I'm not judging. If you do that, that's okay. I understand for everybody has their different ways of doing things, but for me, I don't like to judge it. I like to just find parts that I like and just enjoy it. So that's, keep that in mind as you're watching this. It's okay if you don't feel the same way. I just want to clarify that. So I wasn't too excited for this one, honestly. I watched Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and I liked Riri Williams, and I've said before, I like the Young Avengers characters and whatnot, and I think Riri is technically one of them. But honestly, this series, I wasn't that interested, but obviously it's Marvel, and I'm a huge fan, and I do like Riri, so of course I'm gonna watch it. And so, I didn't go in with any high hopes or big expectations, which I think was probably good, because while this series was good and 100% worth watching it once at least, and will probably be important to the rest, other things later on in the MCU, especially because I saw Dominic Thorne, the actress who plays Riri Williams, is indeed in the cast for some of the upcoming movies and all that. So probably will have needed to watch this, especially because the series did end on a cliffhanger. like a really big cliffhanger that I'm really mad about. Like, I don't feel like it wrapped up anything. So definitely there's gonna be more with that character. But yes, I feel like it was worth watching for multiple reasons, but honestly, I didn't love it. It was good, but it's not going to be something that I'm like obsessing over and thinking about a lot. It's just something I watched and enjoyed and might rewatch at some point, but I'm just going to move on with my day now. But episode 1 starts out pretty good, you know, catches us up on like where Riri's at right now, and also gives us a bit more about her character because we didn't really get to know her all that much in Wakanda Forever. That was more Shuri's story than Riri's. So this like gave us a bit more about Riri, and episode 1, you know, got me hooked and on watching the rest. And then but it felt really short also. Like I was watching it and then it like the episode ended and I was like, wait, that was it? That felt like it was like 15 minutes, but no, that had been the whole long episode. So, you know, not that bad. It gets ranked like 5th place out of the 6 episodes. Then episodes 2 ranked, it was my least favorite. I did like it, but again, it was just kind of like a bridge to get from like the initial beginning of the story into like, you know, the rest of the story. It didn't feel like it was, you know, anything big and monumental. I'm not quite sure the exact word I'm looking for with that, but you know what I mean. Like it didn't feel like anything important really happened, other than it was just like a bridge episode kind of. Still good, just not my favorite. Episode 3 then was my 4th favorite episode. I did like it. It was when the story started to like, you know, pick up a bit, but yeah, it's still more of a bridge episode than like anything big or like important. Still good though. It doesn't stick in the memory much. Yeah, I can't even like think of what really happened in that episode much. Then episode 4, I'm pretty sure that I said that was my 3rd favorite. Yeah, that was my 3rd favorite episode. I think. Yeah. Yeah, 3rd favorite episode. That's when the story really is picking up more and, you know, we get some bigger action pieces. And, you know, things are starting to come together more. And then episode 5 was my favorite episode. I felt like some good action sequence, especially at the beginning, and then like, you know, whole end of the episode. Oh my gosh. So sad. So just shocking. I still can't believe how that one went. Crazy episode, very good. And then the 6th episode and the final one was my 2nd favorite. So yeah, I don't know. It was a fine episode. Like most of the way through, I was just kind of like, okay. Although the one moment, okay, so I'm going to spoil it here. So if you don't want any spoilers, then maybe skip a little bit. Although I don't know if this is like really fully a spoiler because I'm gonna get into this a bit more later. But Marvel did not keep this a secret at all, I feel like. So, but if you don't want to know, if you're avoiding all that stuff, then skip a little bit. I'll let you know when you can resume. But you know, that's the episode where you meet Mephisto. And I know that like people who read the comics and stuff, or who are like obsessed over this even more than I do, have been waiting for Mephisto for like ages and ages, and they thought it was going to happen in WandaVision and it didn't, and then like we all kind of thought it would happen in Agatha all along and it didn't, and now Mephisto was in this. And so I'm not a comic person. I've never like read any of the comics or anything. I might someday, but just not a fan. But I have like, you know, anytime there's a new Marvel thing coming out that I'm excited for, I'll like check out some of the fan theories. And so I saw the ones about Mephisto around the time Agatha All Along came out, so I looked into it more, and then I was actually like getting excited about the whole Mephisto thing too. So actually when the guy was like, you can call me Mephisto, I jumped up and started yelling yes, 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 because I was just that excited. So that was a pretty cool moment in that episode, and that's like part of why it's 2nd favorite, because that was exciting, and I'm excited to see like what they do with Mephisto in the rest of the MCU, especially given the way that series ended. Okay, the Mephisto spoiler is over now if you want to resume watching, although I'll just keep telling you to skip when I'm gonna spoil things. Then the episode 6 ended on such a big cliffhanger, and I feel so unsatisfied with the way that episode ended. I feel like it did not wrap up anything at all. It did not feel like a finale, which makes me wonder what Marvel Studios has planned, or if they even have a specific plan. I hope they do, because it was just crazy, that ending. I'm so like, what on earth about it? And then like the post-credit scene, not quite as much of like a cliffhanger and as crazy. That was more like, you know, what you'd normally see in a post-credit scene, like a little tease to make the audience excited for whatever's coming next. But still, what the heck? It was just crazy. Yeah, so that's like my thoughts about each individual episode. Then the characters. The characters were pretty good for the most part. Some of them I wasn't like all that a big fan of. I know the Hood is like another character that people have been excited to see. I personally don't care one way or another all that much, but you know, it's cool, I guess. Again, I'm gonna not to spoil anything major, but you know, I liked most of the crew that Riri works with. I liked Clown especially. I don't know why. I just thought she was cool. And later in it's either episode 3 or episode 4, I can't quite remember, you're introduced to a character named Zelma, who I don't think she's like, I don't know, but she is apparently a student at Comertage, which, in case you don't know or don't remember, that's the wizard academy or whatever, where like Doctor Strange went in the first Doctor Strange movie, and then in the second Doctor Strange movie at the end you see America Chavez is there. So, you know, and again, we haven't seen America Chavez since Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and she's confirmed to be in later stuff. So the fact that this character Zelma was at Comertage, maybe she knows America Chavez, and maybe her story will continue. But so Zelma's a wizard, and she's helping Riri, and she's very cool. She's a very minor character in this series, but I liked her. She's cool, and I hope to see more of her. And you know, some of the other characters were cool. Some of them were not that great, but that's the gist of it. I'm gonna try not to get too specific here because I don't want to spoil anything. And I want you to go watch the series for yourself. I don't want to just tell you everything. I want you to go see it. Because even though it's not amazing the way some Marvel series are, but it's definitely worth watching. I liked it. I tend to prefer the more like magical Marvel series. Not always. Thunderbolts is one of my favorite movies, and that's not very magic based. I mean, depending on your perspective. But like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I already mentioned, is one of my favorite Marvel movies also, and that was very like magic based. And just, you know, other stuff like that, like Agatha All Along I loved. So, you know, I tend to prefer the more magic stuff, and this Ironheart was more tech-based, which isn't really my thing, but I liked it. It was good. It felt more grounded than a lot of other series because of it, which again made it a bit boring to me, but I still thought it was pretty good. Dominic Thorne does a great job as Riri, and it was great getting to see more of that character and learn more about her, because again, I think she's considered a young Avenger, sort of, or potentially a young Avenger, and I love all the young Avengers stuff. I can't really think what else to say for that stuff specifically, but I said earlier with you know, Mephisto not being a very big secret, and so again I'm gonna spoil from Ironheart, Agatha All Along, and Captain America Brave New World real quick here. So if you don't want to see these things that are technically spoilers, then and also from Thunderbolts. But again, these aren't technically spoilers because Marvel's kind of made it obvious anyway. But if you don't want to see, then just skip ahead a little bit. So I feel like recently Marvel Studios has been doing a very bad job at keeping their things secret, which is no shade at Marvel. I love the stuff they've been producing for the most part. And, you know, I'm not trying to judge or blame or anything. Maybe there's a strategy to it. I don't know. But I just thought it's funny that some of, like, 4 of the very recent projects in the last couple years have been, you know, had these big things spoiled for them. Captain America Brave New World, which came out February 14th of this year, 2025. You know, Red Hulk was a big deal. And that was supposed to be like this big shocking thing when Harrison Ford becomes Red Hulk. But it's literally what they used for like all of their promotional materials. And so therefore literally not a single person, as far as I know, was surprised when it happened, which kind of lost them a lot of their, you know, like a lot of that wow factor or a lot of like the interest in that movie, because the big surprise was not at all a surprise. It was all the promotional stuff. I don't know if it worked. I don't follow the numbers in the box office or whatever, because I don't personally want to know, because it's usually a little depressing how poorly it does, because that makes me sad. I like Marvel, want it to do well, so they can keep making the good stuff and the movies and all the shows and everything. But that's not the point. I digress. So that was not at all kept secret. Agatha All Along, the series that came out like, what was it, like October, November of, or September, October, something like that, of 2024, you know, with the 2 mysterious, unidentified characters of Teen, played by Joe Locke, and Rio, played by Aubrey Plaza, who I adore. And, you know, they were these big mysterious characters, and it was like, oh, their identity, so mysterious and secret. Can't wait to figure it out. What's it gonna be? And even before the show came out, there were all these people speculating that, like, oh, Teen is going to be Billy Maximoff / Billy Kaplan, and Rio is either going to be Mephisto or Lady Death. And these were just fan theories that were, you know, not that hard to come up with given the stuff, but they were still just theories that weren't confirmed. But then before it was even like revealed in the episodes, they released the Funko Pops with the names, like with Wiccans, which is like, you know, the Billy Kaplan / Billy Maximoff superhero name, and Lady Death, so completely ruined the surprise before the episode that revealed it even came out. Again, that might have been intentional, and I'm not judging. I just thought it was kind of funny. And like that, even me, who, like, I don't read the comic books and I would not have thought of this, I knew the spoiler before the show revealed it. And then Thunderbolts, this wasn't quite as big of one, but it was still a thing. That the, again, mysterious unidentified character Bob, played by Lewis Pullman, I'm pretty sure is the actor's name. Everybody's like, he's gonna be Sentry, and lo and behold, he was Sentry. And then the thing with the Void, I think not as many people got, but they did release a trailer with like the Void talking, and you could kind of hear that the voices were the same. Actually, like a week before I went to see it in theaters, I was like obsessively rewatching the trailers, and I heard the voices, and I realized that they were the same person. So again, that wasn't as bad of a spoiler, but it still spoiled like a big part of the movie. And then for this was the smallest one yet, so they're getting better. But Mephisto, everybody knew that like he was gonna be in this, because when they had, like, if you go to Google and you look up Ironheart cast and you go down to where it like shows the names of the people, you see that there's a guy, and under his name is listed Mephisto. So we knew he was gonna be in this. I still did like jump up and down and yell a lot when they said the name in this TV show, but you know, have been spoiling like all of these things recently. Again, no judging. I just think it's kind of funny. Okay, spoilers and whatnot ended now. That's, you know, pretty much it. I kind of went off on a tangent there. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I do that a lot. But, you know, I know I didn't really tell you much, but my general overall opinion is that Ironheart was not the best Marvel series I've ever watched, and you know, it won't take up much space in my brain, but it was definitely worth watching. It was cute, it was good. There were a lot of like good things in there. I don't like when movies and shows are super heavy on like, you know, political messaging or like social messaging, because I don't want to be, you know, have something like preached at me while I'm watching TV. I just want to enjoy my TV. So I'll like purposely ignore messaging and stuff, and I felt like it was very light on that messaging. So that's another win for it, in my opinion. Again, I tend to like ignore it, so there could have been stuff I missed or just didn't pick up on, but I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, it's a good series. I'd say it's worth watching. I'd say like pretty much any Marvel thing is worth watching. There's maybe a couple that not so much, but I liked it. It was good. It was not the best Marvel series, but neither was it the worst. It was just kind of somewhere in the middle. That's really all I have to say for it. If you've stuck with me to the end of this very long, very rambling, nonsensical kind of video, I appreciate it. And again, if you enjoyed my long-winded rambling, then, you know, thank you. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment if you have any more specific questions. I may or may not answer the questions, but I will see them, so, you know, feel free. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.